Spawning in the top right hand position, we have the red Terran player representing E-Stars. It is Botvinnik. And his opponent, 1-0 up in this best of 3, the green Zerg, Tefel. Tefel in game 1 mounted a solid defense, taking minimal losses from a lot of Hellion play and Banshee play, and then went for the Tefel build. And I do think it is the Tefel build. I don't know many other players who utilize it up against Terran. He made a ton of roaches and hydras, and was like, your base, I'm going to invade it. I'm going to swarm it, literally. And he runs in with a ton of army supply, and he's just like, oh, you got tanks? No, I don't care about them. I'll focus them out. Oh, you've got marines and bunkers? Nope, don't care about them either, because I've got so much damage output with my +1 attack and +1 carapace. And he just wrecks. So taking a relatively quick win. That push, by the way, always happens at around the 11-minute mark-ish, depending on how much harassment there's been. But all in all, it's just beautiful stuff by Tefel. But Botvinnik gonna have to be prepared for that. Gonna be having to try and find a response to it if he wants to be taking a game off the Dignitas player in this best of 3, and wants to keep his hopes of competing in WCS Season 2 alive. Tefel, he's one map away from advancing forward. That's of course good news for Tefel. He's going to be very, very happy with that. Going to be wanting to go up and play against the winner of Alistair Goody. That is another round of 64 game currently ongoing. So the winner of that will be facing the winner of this series. And that's going to be an awesome round of 32 game, actually. Tefel, opening pool first, just as he always does. He gets that of 14 supply pretty much every time. I'm not 100% sure if it was done this time or not, but I'll be keeping a good little peek on just the various timings Tefel goes for. But for the most part, the end goal is the same: a 14 pool, a 15 pool. Minor differences, slightly more economical going 15 pool, but we're talking minor things there. For the moment, Botvinnik, scouting out, going to be looking for a little bit of information. Scouting the wrong way, unfortunately. Tefel, he's scouting clockwise, and I'm a clockwise scouter myself on 4-player maps. It's a thing. Some people always go clockwise, some people always go anti-clockwise. The majority, I like to think, do go clockwise. I don't really know why that is. I'm sure there's some kind of really cool psychological reason for it. I'm really odd though. When I stir tea, I stir it anti-clockwise, where apparently most people stir it clockwise. I don't even know why these conversations come up in my head, but it's an important thing to know. Maybe it has something to do where you live in the world and whether the toilet flush goes clockwise or anti-clockwise, which actually isn't to do with being in the northern or southern hemisphere, interestingly enough. It has more to do with the shape of the toilet bowl. A random fact you learn when you spend so much time on the internet. Well, I'm really depressed in my life right now. But anyway, what's making me a lot more happy is the fact that a couple of Reapers are ready to go for a little bit of fun. But we get a pause, Tefel preparing for them, getting ready to go. Doesn't actually know they're coming yet, I don't believe. Can I switch to Tefel's vision? I can. Okay, Tefel knows there's a natural CC coming down. Should know by the timing of that it probably was some Reapers. Did he lose a drone? No, so he hasn't lost a drone over there yet. And I don't believe the Overlord could have seen the Reapers. May have done just, but shouldn't have been able to, because they should have come down here. So, yeah, from that vision, nope. Tefel doesn't know about these. That much I can confirm. So, yeah, this is kind of awkward now, because I was in a deep conversation about random stuff I found on the internet. Let me know in either Twitch chat or if you're watching the VODs on YouTube in the comment section, what is the most random thing you know thanks to the wonderful World Wide Web? I'm trying to think if that is the most random thing I know. I learned something really cool at the weekend actually, which is StarCraft related, and that's the unit swarm hosts are based on a frog, which actually has its young grow in its back and then they like burst out through these holes, and it is the most grotesque, terrifying thing you've ever seen. Don't Google it. Anyway, a couple of Reapers now coming in, going to be getting a little bit of damage down. Tefel, no Zerglings, is having to defend this purely with the aid of a single queen. A Spore Crawler getting created just to save this little drone's life, but pop, there he goes, back to mining with some more queens on the way out for Tefel. He should be able to prevent any damage really being done here. Tefel losing 30 minerals thanks to that Spore Crawler cancel, but obviously 30 minerals is less than 50 and a drone and a lava. So that's all good. 3 Reapers now out on the field. They're going to be a little bit irritating, but there's also 3 Queens. 3 Queens beat 3 Reapers every single time. Still waiting to see if they're going to get in. Still waiting to see if they can get any drone kills. They're trying to. A couple of drones now getting picked off. Always nicely done. Still they keep going through. Still they keep getting actually a couple more now. This is racking up a fair number of drone kills here for Botvinnik. Tefel having to pull them away. Unable to save many more. And, well, that was 8 worker kills for 3 Reapers. I consider that a damn good bit of harassment, which is still ongoing. You're actually getting to double digits here. 10 worker kills is phenomenal. Brilliantly done here by Botvinnik. And he's actually really done a fair amount of damage to Tefel's economy. Behind this, Botvinnik is adding in his 3rd command center. It's nearly done. He's getting stim, which is slightly delayed because of how many Reapers there have been. But for the most part, not much else really to expect over the next few minutes. Just Tefel adding in his Rotoron, adding in his Evolution Chamber, although just the 1 this game. Whereas last game he did grab 2 for the double missile attack upgrades. Missile attack and of course the carapace. Waiting to see now if Botvinnik tries to do any damage with these Hellions. Only got 2 at the moment, but 3 and 4 coming to join them. And if you recall back to game 1 on merry-go-round, there really wasn't any damage done by these Hellions. Tefel more than capable of defending them, and this game as well, because of this wall off at the natural, there is, to be honest, not a chance, aside from a massive mistake from Tefel's side, that these Hellions will do anything for quite a while. And with the roaches coming out, 6, 8, 9 of them, they're not going to do anything. And again, unless there's a big mistake from Tefel. Creep spread getting denied, 3rd base getting scouted. And this is quite a late 3rd base for Tefel compared to his normal play. Some of that's going to be due to losing those drones and taking a lot of damage. But also he's gone up to 4 gases and the lair very fast. Adding in roach speed, the 2nd evolution chamber as well now. And these roaches going to be looking for some aggression. There's 10 of them. 10 roaches is more than just a defensive force. You don't need 10 roaches to hold off Hellions. You need like 4 or 6. But the Hellions very mobile. A lot faster, especially off creep, than the roaches. So a handful of drones could be in some trouble. Tefel doesn't get the wall off down, and that was a slip up by him. And as a result, Botvinnik now moving straight up into the main base. Going for the queen, should be focusing the drones, which do light up a bit. Always dangerous lining up your drones. For the roaches, they're here to save the day. Only 1 Hellion remains. 17 workers killed though in this early game. And overall in resources lost, Tefel may have lost slightly less, but because most of that is in the form of drones. Overall, Botvinnik getting a nice early game. Just down a little in supply, and obviously should be slightly concerned that there's a lot of roaches here at the +1. And he should have also seen that the roach roaring is kind of doing its thing and upgrading something. Marauder is going to get taken down. He was shelling away at those drones, racking up actually a fair few more kills. 24 worker kills now. That is really nice. Tefel only at 57 drones at the moment, but right on cue. He's adding in his Hydroden. But if you, again, think back to game number 1, at this point, Tefel was barreling across the map, charging forward with about 90 supply army. It's currently sitting at 46. It's nowhere near as scary. But likewise, because of this very harassment heavy play, Botvinnik has a much less scary army as well. No tanks. 5 Marauders and 9 Marines. The SCVs transferring to the 3rd are going to be met by acid, and that's never what you want. And as a result of this, quite a few workers getting killed. 14 workers killed, but still nothing compared to what Botvinnik has done to Tefel. The bunker is up, but nothing in it at the moment, so the units outside the bunker just getting focused down. The Marauder getting picked up would be a nice hit. Now there's only these Marines and a tank on the high ground working away. A couple of additional roaches coming across. Hydra production now started. The Overseer granting that high ground vision lets the tank get picked off, and Botvinnik just lacking anything to try and stop this. His harassment heavy play was great, but considering he's dropping at the same time, there's nothing left back at home. He's killed 29 workers of Tefel, but if he can't hold off these roaches, will it even matter? And even if the roaches get stopped, look at just how much more is coming through. The drop is doing some nice damage. The drop is getting shut down though, whereas Tefel has got reinforcements on their way. He's still pushing through. And while there's a tank here, it's pretty vulnerable. Tefel failing to reach this critical mass of units though to actually end this anytime. Or he shouldn't be able to end it with that amount of medevac support. But still, a little bit frustrating. Tefel at 56 workers, 47 there for Botvinnik at the moment. And we're still keeping things very much over on Botvinnik's natural, because this is where most of the action is currently occurring, and it's going to continue to, because Tefel flooding units. He added in 3 additional drones there. Worth noting that Tefel is only just slightly undersaturated in his gas, but pumping as many minerals as he can. And as a result of this, we've got a lot of links, because there's excess minerals. Couple more SCVs and a mule there going down. Always annoying losing that. 1 siege tank in a nice-ish position. But with the wall off, to be honest, the Hydra shouldn't be able to take it out, but it may be a little bit too close. Could probably actually get picked at, and with that bunker down, definitely now can be attacked. If the tank falls, which it doesn't thanks to a good little pickup, it would have been bad times. But Tefel moving up, the supply depot's down, and that is a great opportunity for Tefel, though he's focusing on the natural orbital command, and he's going to get it. Really hindering the economy of Botvinnik, but that may not even matter, because still we see a lot more roaches and a lot more hydras picking away at SCVs. 57 workers now killed. This is a bad game to be just a worker and a builder. 59 and 48, that is a lot of dead workers who shouldn't even be combat units. They're just getting the resources, paying the bills, and they pay the price for it. Tefel still staying active out on the map. His creep spread, alright, nothing to be amazed at though, but due to the harassment and the very aggressive play we've seen from the from the Zerg player, you don't have to worry about that. Medevac now is going to try and deposit a couple of Marines down, but they get picked off quickly thanks to a retreat from Tefel to come and defend that. All in all, if we take a little recap look at this game, Botvinnik losing about 1,000 more resources than Tefel, but more importantly, losing a natural base and a lot of his workers. More so than Tefel's lost, despite Tefel losing a huge amount. So, Tefel has got an economic edge, and if we look at the incomes, you can really see that, specifically in the gas. And the only reason the minerals are somewhat close is because Botvinnik has mules. However, Tefel, getting aggressive yet again, sees there's no new natural base, hasn't actually gone to go and check the third. I'm surprised he hasn't gone to look down there. Perhaps assuming that, hey, he would never try and take that third if he hasn't even got his natural. But it's a good risk for Botvinnik to take because it's paying off for him. Couple of Marines, 1 lone marauder up on the high ground, as well as these tanks shelling away. And that's going to make it quite hard for Tefel to actually break this main base. At least for now. But Tefel is adding in a lot more units. His drone count staying at around that 50 mark. And this gives him alright saturation. Just a bit low on the minerals now. He's taken all of the gas bar these two. But it's still, income-wise, hugely in Tefel's favour. Third base now getting discovered, and there's a lot of SCVs who will unfortunately die here. The roaches coming through, a lot more ready to pick up these units. Sure, there's 2 tanks up there, but the roaches are going to be happy to die to pick up these workers. It's worthwhile. And now, Botvinnik, having lost 71 SCVs this game, goes for a massive drop. The natural base is where he's going to be targeting, trying to get that damage down. A couple of these roaches will get prioritized, but with the rest of Tefel's army retreating back, he should be able to clean this up. But still, a large amount of damage being done, and for not really much loss. A couple of SCVs would have gone down regardless if that army was in position or not. And the retreat able to be executed. Tefel now down to 39 workers. He's taken significant worker losses as well this game. And this is just getting pretty crazy. 71 SCVs killed, 66 drones. Very, very close. So, 3 additional tanks sitting up on that high ground. The double medevac drop coming in yet again. That's going to be heading towards Tefel's third. Although, looky here, Tefel's got a big army in position. Probably not going to chill around there, though, and wait it out. Botvinnik now retaking his natural base. And, yeah. We're kind of back into an interesting spot because, oh, maybe not, Botvinnik losing those drops is actually really annoying for him. That's a substantial amount of his army supply, and I don't want to try and kid you guys, but Botvinnik is in a really bad position. Like, he's had... If this was a gladiatorial fight back in ancient Rome, he would basically have a spear through his chest. And is still just kind of there, like, hoping that something good will happen. Hoping that he's somehow going to survive this. And Tefel is the emperor there, waiting to decide whether they release the lions or not. And Tefel doesn't seem to be a merciful emperor. He seems to be the one who likes to release the lions. The roaches, the hydras, preparing for what could be their final attack. Check to see if there's a third. They're like, nope, that's not there. This overseer is really important to see the tanks on the high ground. Tefel's getting dropped, but I suspect he's just going to ignore that and just be like, yep, I'm going to push in. If there's a double drop there, my opponent cannot have much of an army. And here Tefel goes, moving forward. There's the two overseers to guarantee high ground vision, even if there was a snipe off. The tanks go down, and once they're dead, Tefel's sitting at 147 army supply to 48. 100 army supply up. The natural base taking a lot of damage, but Tefel not too bothered about that. He wants to get into the main, taking down those SCVs, taking down the production facilities. But Botvinnik looking to be eliminated from this qualifier, and Tefel to advance forward. Nearly 4 times the supply for Tefel. He's going to have to do something if he wants to lose this now. He's in an amazing, amazing spot. Forward he goes, a lot of damage being done, all on its way through. And well, Tefel should come through and take this game very, very comfortably. Quick little takedown of all the remaining buildings, but Botvinnik will know now that there is no way he can come back from this. He's just coming to terms with it, waiting for the GG, realizing that there is no way he can qualify for WCS 2014. Which is never a nice spot to be in. Couple of orbit commands floating around, but they're not going to be able to stop this. But Botvinnik keeping his moment in the limelight, hoping that it may do him well, but these hydras pinning it down. Tefel did lose obviously 2 bases to this drop, which was a little bit annoying, but it wasn't even worth looking at because it doesn't make a difference to how this game is going to go. But Botvinnik cannot win now. Like, these 3 Marines and a Marauder, which is all that he has, would have to do something insane. But there's the GG. Tefel will be victorious and advances forward to face off against Alistair or Goody in the next round.